So my name is Arlene Conway and I'm an Irish teacher here at ExamRevision, and I'm going to be taking you through our junior cycle higher level Irish predictions paper here today. So we're going to be having a quick look at some ideas, some tips and tricks to remember when it comes to junior cycle higher level Irish for 2024. So again, nuair táid ag smaoineamh faoi meitheamh fiche chathair. So when we're talking about June 2024, céir atá i gceist leis. So we know with the junior cycle Irish paper, tá sé briste síos i PC faoi le. So we know that it's broken down into a number of questions. So ceiste hain, a dó agus a trí, de gná, normally are our clues tuiscint questions. Then we have our chathair, we always have our leave tuiscint piece. Then we have cuasaí litríochta. So we have our literature pieces, which could comprise of our novel, our filiocht, our poetry sections, gearscéalta, short stories, uairscéal, your novel, and drama, comma. And you've got your drama. Comma na sin. As well as that, we also have our tascana scríbhneoireachta. So we have our listening or our tascana scríbhneoireachta, our written pieces, so our written questions, comma, and we're going to be talking about those as well. Agus bíonn gá ceist ann comma cuasaí gramadí. And there's usually 2 questions over the last 2 years that we've had this paper based on cuasaí gramadí on our grammar questions. So on céad rud, so a few tricks and tips to have nuair a hagann sé leis an glúis tuiscint agus an léamh tuiscint. So when it comes to your listening and your reading comprehension, or into being daoine ará, sometimes you might hear people saying, oh, can't really study for it, it just comes up in the day. Tá sé sin ní ceart. That is absolutely incorrect. Is féidir leat neart stadir a dhéanamh. You can absolutely do loads of study in preparation for your cluas tuiscint and for your léamh tuiscint. So céir is féidir lena dhéanamh. So what can we do? Well, leis an glúis tuiscint, with our listening, I gcónaí bíag smaoineamh amach le haghaidh na dátaí. Always be thinking about the dates. Do I know different dates? Like, do I know how to say the 12th of September on Dara Law Diag? De vi man for. Do I know how to say that? Because usually something might come up got to do with dates. Comma le sin, as well as that, we also need to make sure we know mianta na mbliana. Okay, mianta na mbliana. So the day or the months of the year, comma, do we know those? Na hivrica galéir, the numbers in themselves, we have different ways of saying things. So if we're ag of daoine for counting people, Gisula, dinner, birch, trúr, capper. Are we counting things like piano one, golf fian? Or am I putting something in chronological order? Like on céad, on dara, on céad bhliain, on dara bhliain, on tríú bhliain. So always remember those comma. Cuasaí oibre. So when we're talking about work, do I know na postna éagsúla? Do I know the different jobs? Because usually they ask us about that. They're usually going to be asking, is muintir a van? So cén post atá ag mór Sean? What job does Sean's mother have? Well, is muintir a. She's a teacher. So ná déan darmid faoi sin. So don't forget about things like that. Comma. Then cuasaí oibre, if you're talking, they might be talking about an agalav. They could be talking about interviews. They could be talking about a puisht. There could be a fógra puisht. There could be a job ad. Neart rudí sin. So ná déan darmid. Don't forget about those. Comma le sin, as well as that. Store focal, as I'm saying here. If you see any word that you don't know between now and dera mi bialtana, déan cínse geschriven sivéisius. Make sure you jot it down. That word could come up on scrúdú. That word could come up again on an exam. So make sure you jot it down that you know that word. That if you see the word agalav, you've been doing stuff about agalav sarong. and you see it come up in a Lev Tishkinch, you're going to know that word. Or you've been ag kind faoin technoliaachs wrong, and you see the word for Sea of Iderley, you're going to know it. So den cínse go bhfuil sé rólas agat. Leis on Clues Tishkinch. For your Clues Tishkinch, make sure when you're going in to do your exam, it's not the first time, it's not on the morning that you hear that for the first time. So mar bhí mé á rá an sin, as I was saying that there, it's not the first time you hear it. So when you walk into your exam on that morning, it's not the first time you hear it. So it's not the first time that you go in and you listen to it. Cur na clúsán isteach. Put in your headphones and go and download. Your exam papers have apps with them. Okay, the EDCO paper, the exam papers, and the Educate papers both have apps with them that you can download on Clues Tishkinch. You can download all your Clues Tishkinch, Erin Malika stock, Ermodgen, on the way in on the morning of the exam. You listen to a little bit of Gaelga. That's not the first time when you sit down to do your exam. That is not the first time you've heard Irish Ermodgen. You've heard it a good bit before. Okay, so it just tunes your ear for the different dialects a hagan níos comma, cuaig a connacht, cuaig a lion agus a lehéid, so that you have those ready to go. Comma le sin, nuair hagan sé leis an Cluas Tishkinch agus an Lev Tishkinch, an bhfuil na ceis na cutíanta agah se. Have you got those common questions? So like cé, cad, caird, cahan, cé bhéid, cén dói, cén fá, cá odd, any of those words. You know them, you've seen them before. A lot of them are the W question words, severla, but in English it's all C. Okay, so again, den cínse go bhfuil list agah se den stuff sin. Make sure you have a list of those ready to go. Moderate leis na cín sin. Moderate leis an literacht. So when it comes to our literature section, okay, agus muidig smuoineh faoi bheitheh fiche cahar, and when we're talking about 2024, okay, sa bhliain se chaite, an bliain se chaite leis an uairscéal with our novel, you actually got a choice. You could answer the question bunathe ar an uairscéal based on your novel or based on the drama, which was really, really nice. So if you thought, okay, maybe the questions suit better to the drama I've studied, well, then you could absolutely choose your drama over your novel for your docket mark, for your 40 marks. So that was a really, really nice way that the question came up, and it gave you a choice. Moderate leis an nearscale, with your garscale then last year, it came up. You had your question for cuaig vargas fiche for 25 marks there, comma. Very useful and handy question. And then Mars Gana, you had your dawn and your iron. Civilian fiche do. So in 2022, we did have our uairscéal a ríis le haid docket mark. We had our dawn, no iron Mars Gana, and then on gearscale a ríis and our short story. So bhí sé sin go hálan, so that was nice. Again, modern leis an literacht, the literature, it's not as if we can just leave out pieces of literature or only study certain ones. Remember, there are a selection on your course and you do have to know them. What happens if the commission, Scrúda Hastoich, okay, if the state exams decided to put up a comparison question between one poem that you had studied and another? So den cínse go bhfuil níos mó ná cearnháin déanta agah se. Make sure you don't just say, oh, I'm going to study one. Den cínse go bhfuil cúpla cín eile sa bhreis. Make sure you have a few extras in there as well. Okay, tá sé tábhachtach. Now, nuair hagann sé leis an literacht, when it comes to literature, okay, what are the kind of things that they could ask us? It's not as if there's a set questions that come up every year, so we just need to be able to know a few different ones of these. So ma éicimid if we have a look at them. So príomh smaointe agus an téma. Do I know the themes? Do I know what's happening? Isteach sa scéal. So if I have a poem, do I know what's happening in that poem? Am I able to talk through na versi difriúla? Can I talk through the different verses? And if I can, iontalk. Tá sé sin iontalk. Má tá tú an leabhar faoi, ba tú an scríomh faoi. It's always what I say. If you're able to talk about it, you can absolutely write about it. Make sure sin go hálan. Íomhána agus cluttersnacht. So our images and our contrast. Agus bíonn sé sin I gcónaí. That is always there. So you will have your íomhána, your images. They might link an image with maybe a personal question about conna sa hui sé I bhaimart. How did it affect you? Cúpla rudi nó sin. Few different things like that. Contrast. Okay, is there contrast le écoil sa dawn? Is there cluttersnacht in your character? Is there contrast between characters, Beiger, comma? So it's listed le horve. It's an endless list there. Tedel Arunuk. Have I got a suitable title? What do I think about the title? Is it Arunuk dun scale, dun drama, dun urscale? So no dain dermot fi sin. An will tús no creach an urscale, no an drama, no an gerscale, an will sé ólas aganya. Do we know it? An will an tús agus an creach ólas aganya. Are we sure that we know it? Sunri an scríb Nora. So do I have the details? That's very, very important that I know Kay Scrive, who wrote it, and Anam. Anam on doin, no Anam on yar scale, no Anam on ur scale, no on drama, because you get marks for those. Okay, 1 mark for naming Kay Scrive, who wrote it, and for the name of it. Sieve, so call will she sitcha, in case a question comes up about the location of your drama or your ur scale. Agus na character and the characters. What type of characters are they? I mean ein tridge on web tanis idir na character. Just ruddy simply no shin. Just a few things about the characters. Okay, and when she'd ólas agwив. And again, linked with our literature pieces, we go into more detail about each of the different literature pieces on our May revision courses. So if you would like to book in for one of our May revision courses, I'll be telling you a little bit more about that before the end of this video. Muhukan. So again, this is a question that comes up a good bit, talking about muhukan agus tahi parsanta leis dawn. So an will an stuff seo ólas agat. Do you know this stuff? Conna sa hui an dawn I bhaimart. Cur an dawn áhas no brón earth. Agus déanchar sios bhuthúcán a bháin a spragan an dawn on it. Those things are questions. They're all linking back to muhukan. Céir de ceapan tú faoi na muhukan. What do you think about the emotions? So conna sa hui sé I bhaimart. How did it affect you? Cur an dawn áhas no brón earth. Did it make you feel happy or sad? Agus déanchar sios bhuthúcán a bháin a spragan an dawn on it. And describe one emotion, okay, that it inspires in you. Okay, so sin cúpla ceann in a question. A few different types of ways of asking the same question. Now, I want to chat a little bit about our platform. Okay, our exam revision platform. If you're not familiar with it, I'm going to tell you a little bit of information about it. So within our package, you will have links to all of these. So you will have the tutorials based on different topics. We have our PowerPoint presentations, so you can see them in video form and you can download them. You will have your H1 notes or your distinction notes for junior cycle. You have your exam and your mock paper questions, which is a really, really useful tool. And I'm going to show you how you can work that on our platform. And it's a really, really nice thing. It's one of my favorites on the platform. All the marking schemes are up there, which is brilliant. So you can do a question and then check it with the marking scheme. Use your marking scheme as your success criteria. We have revision quizzes. So maybe before you do a question, you might try a revision quiz and then tackle the question. You have reflection logs, so you can track your process, help with your well-being in case you're starting to panic coming to the end. If you can look back and see, okay, I've done so many questions about this, about Dado or about Cúpla, you can see, okay, well, I did do these questions. So they're in my brain somewhere. And then there's different ways. So our platform will blend to aid your revision and your technology. So the subjects that we have for junior cycle, you can see the 8 subjects there: Irish, English, maths, history, science, geography, business, and home economics. For Leaving Cert, we have 17 subjects. So we can see them there: Irish, English, maths, history, geography, ag science, physics, applied maths, biology, chemistry, business, economics, French, Spanish, music, and PE. So I'm going to show you what our platform looks like. So when you log in, it looks a little bit like this. So I've logged into my account. I'm going to click on Junior Cycle Irish. So that's sin go Holland. Now, if I break it down here, I have my Gramadach, Drámaíocht, Filiocht, Clús Tuiscint, Gearskilta, na Topiki Éagsúla. So these are like for your task and Scribnorta. We have the Scrúdú Éhain, it's in tails, your Leif Tuiscint, and then over here your Urscale. So if I pick, for example, Filiocht. So I'm going to study some Filiocht and Ucht. So my broom air on Rudshin, pop into Filiocht. You can see here, there is a little PowerPoint presentation. So the Fishon Island shot. I have a video. I have presentations available on that. I have a resource pack full of no tier FOD. There's quizzes, and there is your exam questions, which this is my favorite. So if you pick a question, you can see them here by the years. So there's 2023, question 10, about poetry. So that's lovely. I can also time myself up here for my question. If I click on it, it will turn around and give me the marking scheme, which is very, very handy. So I can use that as my success criteria. So there's my question. Din Crishias Garage or Ga Eva Sudan, no san Aaron, a Hatney and Lat. And I'm going to use this as my success criteria, which is going to help me a lot in my exam. I can also make myself a little exam and put all the questions together, download it as a PDF and work on it myself, or I can bring it into class and use it maybe in class. Okay, same thing with the marking schemes. I can download the marking schemes and go through them at home in the evenings. Maybe your teacher is working on a particular year with you. You can go home, download the marking schemes. Or, okay, if you're feeling really, really good, you can get a random question. So there's a lot of really interesting and useful tools to help you with your revision. So lots of things available on our website. Okay, so that is the one there about Filiocht. But we have loads there on all the different topics. And it's broken down like this for all the subjects too, which is really, really useful. So pop back here now. And I'm going to tell you that we have over 200 plus 5-star reviews from students and from parents. So even if you pop onto our website online, you will see loads of these reviews of students that have taken part in our courses and are using our website currently. Now, if I pop back to grammar, so you do have a grammar question on your exam. Okay, so don't forget about that as well. Usually it's 10 marks. It's been broken down into 2 parts for the last 2 years. It's been Ceiste Seacht to this Ceiste Ní. And depending on the questions, sometimes they have put broken down into 2 parts. So the first part is usually circling the answer. So you have 3 answers on a line and you circle the correct one. Okay, or they might give you a box and you have to pick out the correct answers from the box. Now, make sure Gramadach, it's not only for your grammar question, it's for everything you do in the exam. So again, make sure that you have that linked in there as well. You go back over in Heimshire Éagsúla, and I'm sure Katja, and I'm sure Loic Rock, on I'm sure Oshnach, August and Mokanilach and your Mokanilach. Have you got your Ivrica? Your Ravokal, small little things like that will help you a lot. And if you take up one of our revision courses in May, I'll be going into this stuff in a lot more detail. So we really break down each of the tenses and we go through them in small detail. So you can actually use some of the slides that we have as a revision tool to help you. In the Ryan Capadoricta section, so this is our section, our written section. Craig America being out, it's your 50-mark question on Villian Shachacha. You had a choice between Sira, agus Kilker, agus an Villian Riva, so Villian Fiha Do. You had Ahure Raja and Law Ig Shupadorach. And you had to write a few pieces of information about one of these topics. So they gave us a list of questions and we had to answer them. So make sure Madr leis na ceisna sin gníonn tú ferbert orthu. Make sure that you're developing those questions, writing as much as you can for those questions. Mar tá sí tábhachtach, because they are important. They are on tábhachtach doing. So again, write as much as you can. Le hain na ceisna sin, for those questions, they can be linked to aon rud an curriculum, anything on the curriculum. So make sure that you go back over it and topic year fod on Cantor, on Skull, Technoliacht, agus na Mian. We can see there in Fiha Do, we had a question about Ahra Raja, Beidir Rodagan Bunah an Gaelga, or Tatu sa Gaeltacht, maybe you're in the Gaeltacht. Bia, Sport, Cav, I'm sure, aon rud. They can ask us anything really on any of these topics. So again, Dane Keensha go will to all that. Make sure that you are prepared for those questions. So again, Mar a Dúirt mé Hannah, like I said before, no Dane Darmid, don't forget, we do have our one-day intensive revision courses coming up from Saturday the 18th to Sunday the 26th of May. Lahai Dalti Antra Hoshrig, August and Dalti Thai Dane of Nahor Testa. So for juniors, junior cert or junior cycle and leaving cert students, it's Fraser Live Dull Air our Sea of Idrelines. So you can go on our website to have a look at when our courses are on. And again, there is a discount code that I have here for anyone that would like to get 10% off a complete package on our platform. So that's ExamRevision.ie. So Rish Gurmila Mahagwif Asava Lum in you. Thank you for listening to me today. Asul agum gamaishiv gabra sunasasta lesh and stader. So I hope you're all working away and having a good time with your study. Agus ginari livsha lesh nascrudaha, and best of luck with your exams.